Back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. I do discuss things based on the occult. I do a lot of witchy book reviews and also talk about things such as the tarot, which I usually do complimentary and live tarot readings every Monday night at 7 o'clock on Facebook on the Spirit of Twilight page. Today we're going to talk about a book, another review actually. I know I just did one last week, but this book, if you follow me on Twitter, on Instagram, and on Facebook, you'll see I actually read this book I'm about to review for you within 24 hours. The pages are over 200, so it captivated me. It kept my interest. So let's talk about that. Okay, so let's talk about our beautiful book, which is by a friend of mine, actually. She is one of the people that run a group here in Orlando, which is called Pagans in the Park. It's a place that I vend, or an event that I vend at occasionally when they are available. Her name is Stephannie Woodfield, and she is such a wonderful person. Again, I've met her in person. I've interacted with her during these events for several hours. She usually puts me right next to her. We have conversations. Thing is, I never knew that she was an author until this most recent event in October, which I did not attend as a vendor. My husband and I actually went to the event because I wanted to take some of my handmade pendants and give them to her because she likes to do a giveaway at every Pagans in the Park event. So I took her 3 of my pendants and said, here, just go ahead and give these away. And I've always noticed that she is always selling art, and it's handmade art with animal bones and crystals and so on and so forth. And I never knew how she came about doing this or making these. But she also has written 5 books. And I have one of them in my hands here, which this is the first one I purchased from Stephannie. She signed it for me. And it's called Dark Goddess Craft, A Journey Through the Heart of Transformation. And this book is actually very, 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 very good. I found it to be extremely beneficial for new practitioners, especially, but those who have not worked with the dark side of the goddess, or a goddess, I should say, because there are several listed in here from several different cultures, and that is very exciting to me. And as you know, I am a history buff and a paranormal buff, so I like both on top of my practice. But the Dark Goddess Craft, Stephannie goes into starting how she cultivated and expanded her journey through her introduction. Her introduction really captivated me. There was also something very special about this book, that I had a dream about 2 years ago, and a goddess had come to me in the dream, but I didn't know who it was. And I kept looking on Google, kept researching in books to find a picture of what this goddess would look like. Well, lo and behold, and I didn't realize this till a few days ago when I finished this book, that it was Hecate the whole time. And the way that I've seen Hecate on the internet, as far as pictures are concerned, and what have you, is different from the way it's described in this book. So as soon as I read what she described Hecate as, it was amazing. It completely floored me because I've been trying to figure it out for over 2 years. But Stephannie is writing in first person. It's very honest. It's very direct. It has a ton of information, such as for each goddess she goes through. Let me show you an example really quick. She goes into, to start, what you're supposed to do, learning about protection, learning about circles, learning about basics, and just casting circles. Now, she can go into a bunch of different goddesses in here, as I mentioned before, but what's really great, like, okay, here is the session on Hecate, okay, chapter 7. Well, she goes into herself, she goes into how she had found the goddess in every single chapter, or worked with them in every single chapter. So, based on her own encounter, there's also pieces in here from other authors of descriptions and stories, small stories, about each goddess as well. She talks about Hecate and the description of her, but also about her role in mythology, in Greek mythology, which I'm really big on too. I studied that in high school, and I took that as an elective. I absolutely loved it. But she has in here offerings to each goddess. She has in here the invocation to each goddess, and this is in every section. She shows you information based on ritual for insight and choosing a path. Like for Hecate, you need a black candle, an old key, a 2 of swords from a tarot deck of your choice, and an offering to Hecate. Well, it gives you the information on what to say when you are doing a ritual for her, or ritual for insight for Hecate. She has recipes in here also for each goddess, such as Hecate black salt. She gives you information on a spell to Hecate to guard the boundaries. So if you're looking to create wards up in your home, or around your home rather, which I've already done. And I mean, there's so much in here based on colors, candles, different herbs, flowers, so on and so forth. She has her conclusion in here, which is walking the path, and it tells you what to expect based on her experiences. And it's just a great book. It really is. I mean, again, it's called Dark Goddess Craft, and it's by Stephannie Woodfield. And I got this, again, directly from her, but I did do some research. It's available on Amazon. It is available from Llewellyn.com, which is the publisher. So she's there as well, along with her 4 other books. But, I mean, for $19.99, this is definitely worth it. I would highly recommend it. As a matter of fact, I cannot wait to get my hands on another book that she's written, because she captivated me so much with this book here. And again, I never really studied the Dark Goddess Craft, or the Dark Goddess, or the Dark Goddesses, or any form of specific female or male deity, I want to say, but I want to say male or female. I'd rather say role deity, because there's masculine and feminine on each side of the pendulum, if you would, or each side of the view, based on how you work. Now, some people, when they do callings, or they're working with someone, they only work with the divine masculine. Some work with the divine feminine, and some do both. In this book, it's just the divine feminine, but it's the dark goddesses only, so keep that in mind. She goes into goddesses within Hindu, such as Kali. She goes into goddesses from Hoodoo and Voodoo, which is African type of magic, or African workings. there's just so much in the book you have to read it. It's fantastic, and it's a great reference book. So, by all means, look up Stephannie Woodfield. Certainly get one of her books. You'll be so happy that you did, to read it, to use it as a form of reference. But that's all I have for you today. And as always, if you like this video, if you like what I'm doing here, please click on subscribe. Click on the like button. Get my beautiful face out on the universe for YouTube so everybody else can see me. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.